So in the first videos I did, I said I thought that this crisis was going to expose the tension between kind of that elite policy making level where they're not aware of safeguarding systems and equality systems and the rule of law. And I was discussing intersectionality, and there was an exam question about whether intersectionality was a buzzword at the LSE, and I nearly answered it, but I changed my mind and I didn't, to say actually intersectionality is a systems analysis that doesn't exist at the LSE. And I had said that we would use TERF as like a torch to highlight which systems were not aware of this rule of law, and I think that's become abundantly apparent. And so there have been shifts underneath. We no longer have gender identity clinics, we have gender dysphoria clinics, we have had guidance on the Equality Act has been updated, we have clarified what sex-based protections are. The parasitic dynamic with narcissistic activists has been broken by their abusive behaviour, and they're continuing to kind of make empty noise. We've seen the impact of kind of this Twitter shit bubble as a lens for everything, and we've ended up with feminism as, you know, lesbians need to do dick. No, they don't. And I think the weaknesses now that this has exposed are quite important. And what's also abundantly clear now is you can see the process from beginning to end. So you can see the debate on Hansard for the original GRA, and you can see the enormous holes in it. You can then see the consultation by Maria Miller, where she ignores that this is a safeguarding question, and you can see there are, you know, there's an incredibly narrow list of people who were consulted because nobody was aware of this. And then you can see the way that media organisations and young activists kind of have run with this really badly thought out and come up with this delusion that they were going to end freedom of assembly, they were going to undermine safeguarding, and, you know, and we've ended up with the exorable situation of this GRA review, which is not a normal situation, where a safeguarding debate that was requested, that was a normal process, has resulted in women and children being afraid. Which is fucking staggering. And you can see how these situations snowball. And I think, you know, one of the things that's now going to happen, transgender trend have still got, you know, there's that butterfly drama is still going out. We have the issue of Mermaid, we have the issue of this appallingly dangerous grooming of young people, lifting them out of safeguarding, medicalising them. But actually we're coming to a point where the child abuse inquiry is actually being heard, and we're going to come to a point where the Children's Act is going to be reviewed. And it's actually these situations, at that point of review, are really important. It's really important to record how suicide was used irresponsibly within this debate. It's really important to kind of know how the lack of awareness of these basic structures at a media level led to this being kind of sold unquestioningly. And these processes are all really important, and a lot of people will fall away now because after the GRA review, because essentially what's happened now is the GRA review is going to happen, and we've mobilised responses to it, but what's also happened is the gender recognition certificate is meaningless because it's issued to sex offenders and it exists in a wider context. So that's actually all done. And so now it's about the landscape has changed, and it's about looking around how the landscape has been changed because it's quite profound. And understanding that this is the beginning of, you know, this is part of a much wider process. And I think, you know, you find out a lot during periods like this. You know, you find out with narcissism, you say no and you let the rage demonstrate why the no is necessary. And then you carefully observe the response to that no. And there's been a lot to learn from within this situation. And it's not done yet.